So picture this, you've been waiting all summer to go to Europe's best theme park, and you check your phone, it's time to go already, but you've only been on 5 rides. This is the reality for thousands of people who go to PortAventura every single day. But you need to follow this guide to make sure you get as much out of the day as possible. These are the top 10 biggest mistakes people make when they travel to PortAventura World in Spain. So the worst thing you could possibly do is come to the theme park late. That's pretty obvious, but so many people do it every single day. They've missed out on the queues being short. So the biggest mistake everyone makes that you should avoid is eating during peak lunchtime. I'd say eat between like 12 and half 12 instead of between 1 to 3. This means that there's less queues for the big rides, and the queues for the canteen is absolutely insane. So if you want to go in there, you have to go in early for that. But there's many other kiosks that are not that busy. Now, next on the list is going straight to Furious Baco. That's fine if you're at the front of the line getting into the park, or you're staying at Hotel PortAventura. But I've seen people queue up for like over an hour for their first ride straight in the morning, and that is not what you want to do. You need to download the PortAventura app so you can see all the wait times throughout the park. Shambhala opens at 10:30 most days, so I'd recommend avoiding the first queues, getting into the park, and then running straight to Shambhala. During lunchtime, you'd want to ride Furious Baco or Uncharted. These are the 2 biggest rides at the park that always have the longest wait times. And during lunch, everyone will be eating lunch, so you have to utilize that, but it'll still be around 40 minutes long for both those rides. I would recommend buying the 2-park 2-day ticket, which gets you into Ferrariland. Ferrariland holds the record for the Europe's tallest and fastest roller coaster. The queues for Red Force are absolutely massive, so I would honestly recommend getting a fast pass for Ferrariland or Red Force if you can't afford the main unlimited fast pass in PortAventura. Because, Dougal, stop that. Bro. So if you can afford to buy the fast pass unlimited, it is definitely worth it, because you'll get on so much more rides than you'd honestly ever think. The queues in PortAventura are honestly way too long for what you're paying, so you may as well pay the extra and make the most out of the day. But if you can't afford the PortAventura Unlimited Fast Pass, because it is very, very pricey, I would recommend paying €20 for Ferrariland Unlimited Fast Pass. Now, you're mainly going to be using this on Red Force, as the other rides don't really have a long queue, but the Red Force queue, I've seen it as long as 3 hours and 20 minutes for one ride. That is crazy. So, I'm showing a few clips here of the fast pass line at Red Force. We're basically straight on to Red Force with I think the max we queued was 5 minutes. So no one really buys it, and it's definitely worth it. Just after peak lunchtime, after you've done all the other rides when people are at lunch, you'd want to hit Tortuga Splash, Grand Canyon Rapids, and the Silver River Flumes. Those are the best water rides at the park, and just after lunch, no one really goes on them for some reason, so the queues are normally 20 minutes, and it's a very nice way to cool off during the heat. So you kind of need to prepare for the heat a little bit, as in the 30s, but PortAventura have actually added a few cooling stations, which is very nice. There's water fountains all over the park in every bathroom and stuff like that. Now, the other mistake is people leaving early. You have to stay till the park closes, or at least the rides close, because at the end of the day, the last trains are going, there's never a big queue. It's always maximum 10 minutes for Dragon Can or the Shambhala. Maybe Shambhala might not be that long, but maybe Shambhala might be a little longer, but Dragon Can, I've never seen it any more than 15. Furious Baco is very long at the end sometimes. Now, you could get lucky, Sometimes the app says it's half an hour, right? So you have to go and see how many people are there. We went one time, we were in the fast pass to be fair, but we went up, the app said 30 minutes and there's like maybe 20 people in the queue, and the Furious Baco holds like 24 in a train, so that's not a long queue at all. PortAventura has a very cool parade, or like a show, has many fireworks at the end of the night as well. This runs from 11:15 till around past, when everyone has to be out of the park. Another mistake people make is they waste their time on stupid experiences like the Mirror Maze, Temple del Fuego. Like, they're cool and everything, but if you only have one day to do the whole entire park, you're not going to want to do them. The same as the flat ground rides, they're just not it. So you must watch my other video where I tell you the best order to do all the rides to get the most out of your day.